Okay, Mario once again, and this is the seat that I've been assembling from um, from the patterns. Once I made the patterns, I cut the material, and I sewed the material. So I've been stuffing these with the foam, same foam inserts from the original seat. And so I wanted to talk a little bit more about the how these came out. This is fine. The seat, this has about an inch of maybe an inch and a half of foam inside here, inside this section right here, which is the pocket for the foam. You can see the foam there. It's the same foam that I took out from the original one. So they're a little they were a little dusty. I washed them as best as I could, and I let them dry outside in the sun. So that's back into these pockets here. This is an extra pocket here, so it acts as a retainer over this frame of the seat. So that goes on like that. And this has a little bit of a longer flap here so that it wraps underneath the wooden base that makes up the seat here. So that gets staple. On the original one, it was staple. But rethinking this, the way this was done, I mean, I could, if I had to do this over again, I would make this seat a little bit deeper and change some of the approach to sewing these pieces. This is done with, as you saw in my other video, if you've been following my videos here, I made a pattern which has these fold lines at 3 inches from the edge here, 3 inches from the edge. So that's a total of 6 inches. And because this is 18 inches, the distance from here, from this fold line to that fold line would be 12 inches. 18 is the total. And so the way they made the seat, the original Yerf dog, is they made it with a separate flap here that gets sewn on the side here. Same thing on the opposite side, mirror image. And so if I had to do this over again, I would make this, because this cushion right here looks like it's about maybe 2.5. It looks like about, I should put a ruler here just to get an exact measurement. It looks like about 2. I would say about, I'm trying to film and do this at the same time, so bear with me here. Yeah, that's about 2 inches. It's a 2-inch thick foam here. I would do this again. If I were to do this again, I would add another inch here to this 3-inch section here for the fold line. And I would add another inch here, so that's another 2 inches added to the total of that 18. So that would become a 20-inch section by, and I would make this as one piece instead of having this separate piece. And I'll show you why I would do that in a little while here. But I would add this section here with another inch, so another 4 inches on the side here. So that would be, because this is 18 inches from end to end, another 4 inches on that side, another 4 inches on the other side. So we're talking about 20 a total of 26 inches in width by 20 inches in depth. And the way I would sew this is not as they did here with these two separate panels, but the way I sewed this cover for my piano here. You can see I made this out of this material here. This is, by the way, it's not vinyl, it's just regular, I think this polyester fabric or some kind of a fabric that's used for outdoor seats, like lawn chairs and things like that. It's also used for making sun blocking curtains. So it's a pretty nice material, easy to work with. But as you can see, what I did here, this is a one-piece rectangular section that I sewed in such a way that to give me this corner here, so it becomes a rectangular sort of a pan-shaped cover for my piano here. So when this is on the piano, now imagine this would be the seat now, in reference to the Yerf dog seat. Once you put the padding, it would look like this, and you can see how it with this, just these corners here sewn the way I show here, it would make that rectangular corner there nice and clean. And that way you don't need to sew, these edges here, like on the Yerf dog original, they have these flaps that need to be sewn separate. And so now that becomes one whole piece, nice and clean. if you wanted to achieve a cleaner look as you see it here. So that would be the change that I would make here. Now that I've done this, but this needed to be done this way, just to understand how this was built and to see the the result of this with new material. So that would be one of the changes that I would make this thicker. If we go with another inch here, that's the reason for adding another inch to the material on this side and on the side on the edges here. Likewise here, I would make these a little bit more, I would do these with a little more, more area, surface area, so that I can add another half inch of foam here, or just replace this with a 1 inch foam here for the side armrests. That would give you a little more comfort than the original ones, although your hands are mostly on the steering wheel when you do that. But it's nice to have these things on the sides, nicely padded. And so that's the change that I would make, and that's the purpose of this video, is just to talk about how this came out and some of these things that I would do if I were to do this again. I may just do that with a different material, just to have two types of seats, because I can always use the seat in some other go-kart application. One of the things that that's been on my mind since we're talking about this is redoing redoing this Yerf dog style kart using EMT tubing for an electrical application. In other words, I was originally considering taking the original Yerf dog, the 3020, and converting that to electric. But I think I want to keep it with as a gas operated kart, just to keep the original setup intact as it was intended, and instead build another one. Basically, I would be replicating that, not for sale. I don't plan on doing these things for sale. Just let that be clear. This is for my own personal satisfaction and enjoyment. I would be replicating that in EMT conduit, which is really easy to bend with my own connectors. The maker pipe connectors, the same connectors that I've been using on my electrical go-karts, my own designs that I show in some other videos. And replicating this car right here in a much more compact form, so that it's lighter, number one, and so that it's a little more compact, but maintain the same heights, so that I can run it in my backyard and in that dirt area that I have in the backyard, which requires some big tires and a good amount of height off the ground. Basically, an off-road kart that runs on electric power, and so that way I can have both of them, the original one gas operated, and then another one replicated with the EMT conduit to run on electric brushless motors and batteries. And so that is my plan with this particular project that I've been working on. And so if I decide to do another seat, that this or the other seat will go on either one of them. So yeah, I'm still going to I think I'm going to add some foam here to make it a little more comfortable, and just maintain a little more cushion. And so there are two ways that I can do this. I mean, there's so many ways that you can do this. You can use polyfill even here instead of foam. I mean, but my take right now is to use this this type of this is a mat. It's an exercise mat material, and I buy these things to create wheels. Custom wheels from. It makes great wheels to create wheels for my ultralights, like you see it in this. This is my own design, customized, highly customized RC ultralight. It's got a 50, not a 50, a 60-inch wingspan, which is a 5-foot wingspan, and these are the wheels that I make. You can see the wheel right there. These are the wheels that I make from this material here. And the way I do this, I buy this material that thick. Depending on how thick I want the wheels, you can buy this material anywhere from a half inch and up to I believe an inch, or maybe even thicker. But I recently stumbled on an inch, and I go, wow! I didn't know they made this material in 1 inch thickness. Walmart has that material. If you order it online, you can find out the 1 inch, and it's not it's not too expensive, except that you have to buy, the way these come. They come in I believe 6 panels. I think for the 6 panels is like something like $50 or something like that. So it's very inexpensive if you plan on using this for a lot of projects. But if you're just doing, something small, it just doesn't justify spending $50. It may not justify, the expense is what I'm trying to say here. So for me, this is one way to do this, is to use the proper size, cut out to this dimension here, using my pattern that I have underneath here for the wood, for the base. It's somewhere underneath here. Oh, here it is. This is my wood pattern, 18 by 14, and just cutting a sheet, of that 1 inch foam to add on to this, and then instead of using plywood as the base, using this material. Once again here, I had to pause the video here, and this is I believe this is ABS or PVC high density foam. This stuff right here is not like your EVA foam, that really soft foam, but this is an expanded, almost like polystyrene, which is very durable. Number one, I believe this is not a polystyrene, it's ABS. Styrene would be more brittle, but this is ABS. You can buy this at Home Depot. They sell these panels for I don't know. I guess people use them in shower areas. Anything that you want. The moisture is prevalent, and you want to cover something, and you don't want moisture getting in. They use these panels right here. So this is 1/8 of an inch in thickness, and I believe that if I cut a piece of this material to act as my plywood base here, in addition to a 1 inch this hard foam here, this exercise mat type of foam, I would have a nice base here that would be plenty sufficient in lieu of the 3/4 inch plywood panel that I was planning on using here. And so that's one option. The other option is just to go with plywood. Just keep it really simple, and the only thing that would be needed to be done here is just staple these edges, as the original was, to the plywood. I'm going to think a little bit more on this, because I if I can make this removable and not use staples, that would be even better. And I think that can be done easily with Velcro straps. Just a Velcro strap here, a Velcro strap attached to the bottom here, and this can be made, like I said, a little bit longer, so that if I decide to go that route with that foam first, and then that ABS or PVC 1/8 inch thick panel here, on the panel itself, I can put a piece of Velcro strap. Just tape it, the sticky on Velcro strap, and then I can use Velcro strap here to attach this to the bottom instead of using staples. So that would allow me to not only to have a way to replace these things, if I need to replace them in the future, clean them, whatever, remove the foam, and it would keep this whole area nice and clean without using staples. Same thing with this Velcro. So I think that's the way to go. Here is an upgrade to the original way that the seat was manufactured and done with staples. And typically the way a lot of people build these seats, with they just go with staples and just forget about it. The other reason why I don't like the staples is because having to take out all those staples. I mean, look at the original, these original covers and sleeves here for the seat. This was a lot of staples to remove, And so I spend a good maybe half hour just removing all the staples in order to get these pieces clean, so that I can create patterns. And so that's the only thing with staples. So I think this can be done much better, with Velcro, just Velcro strap there, and you have a nice, sturdy and clean assembly of the seat with these covers. So those are the details that I've been thinking about, as I do these things. In my videos of my radio control ultralights, anytime I design an ultralight from scratch, it typically takes me three shots. First one is, I do the design on CAD, then I build, let's say I'm doing a 3D part. I design the part on CAD, and then I make a file, of course, and then shoot it to the 3D printer, and take the part, look at it, and then start comparing. I start tweaking the part for fit, minor things, tolerances and stuff like that. It almost requires a second shot, and then second shot I do it, and then by the third shot everything is refined and everything's pretty much final. So it takes me three tries. That's typical with all with the design approach, and I think that's pretty typical, in any industrial design product that that people make, or when you approach things that way, it typically takes a few tries before you get it just perfect, just right. So for me, it takes three times, and so that's how I like approaching things, and that's what I can expect. The first one is just to test, and so on and so forth. So this would be the first shot, taken from this the patterns here. I mean, it's pretty decent, it's pretty clean. Like I was saying in another videos, I didn't add the cord edging here, which happens to be I think this is a PVC type edging here. It's an extrusion made out of vinyl material. This right here that they use here, and this gets sewn with the exposed round end to the outside, but it gets sewn on the inside, on the reverse side when these things are reversed as they need to be sewn. And they get sewn with this flap in between these two panels here, so that it's retained along the perimeter here. So it creates a nice detail. Same thing on the seat, and I think that's why they did this seat with these separate panels here. It's just to establish a sandwich edging here that you can attach this cord edging or vinyl edging here, as opposed to just having this as a single panel or a single sheet and just fold it at the corners to create the pan shape, as I explained, with making reference to my cover for my piano. So that's the only thing that this one doesn't have here. On my if I decide to redo this, I will be including this edging. I just have to find out who carries this. I believe McMaster Kart, which is an industrial supply company. I believe they probably have this. It's probably not going to be cheap, because anything from McMaster Kart, if they don't get you on the cost of the product, you're going to be end up paying quite a bit in shipping. But they are super fast. You can expect shipping in the next day or within a couple of days. Even Amazon might have this, and that might be a cheaper option. Just because if you have Prime subscription, you can get it for free shipping. As I typically do with most of the stuff that I get from Amazon. It's pretty much fast and with free shipping. So that is that's the only thing that's not on this one here. But after looking at this, I'm like, it's not something that's, if you don't mention it too much, nobody will notice this once the seat is fully assembled, because it is looking pretty spiffy as it is, because it's brand new material and the seat looks brand new. But these extra details will add, I believe, to the aesthetics a little bit better. So I may redo the seat and maybe reuse this in the electric version, as I mentioned, or just keep it here. So that is my those are some of the ideas and possibly changes that I'll be making, to this approach of building the seat here. So my next video will probably be the complete seat on with the frame here. The frame needs to be attached to the mechanical pieces here that allow the seat to go back and forth, the slider or the the slides. And so that needs to be attached to this, and then that whole assembly needs to be attached to the cart. And then this is the last thing. This just pops on top of here with I believe there's 4 bolts here. Yeah, 4 bolts. They come up here, so that also has to be embedded into the base of the seat, whether it's 3/4 plywood or whether I go with that thick foam and that 1/8 inch PVC sheet. The high density PVC expanded foam sheet on top of this. That will hold with this material here, especially with a 1-inch foam here. That will be nice and thick and structurally sound. To hold an internal nut. To engage, with these bolts, they need to be on here, or the actual bolt can be inserted in the base itself, with some kind of a retainer, mechanical or epoxy type of method, to retain the bolt, and the bolt can sit precisely on these 2 holes, and then it can be tightened from the bottom. So either way, I mean, like I said, there are a number of ways to do this. So that's where I'm at right now with this particular seat, and yeah, like I said in my other video, the only thing left to do is to create a vinyl cutout of this artwork here and just pop it right there. So that's all this is. This may, well, actually no, this is not a vinyl decal. This is actually, I believe, this is paint. This may be just a stencil. They came here and they just spray painted. So I may even do that, just create a nice stick-on stencil so that all the graphics come out nice and sharp. That you can do that with a stick-on stencil, something that sticks to the fabric so it doesn't allow the paint to bleed through. And then, just come back and paint this artwork there. I really like that name there, because that really says, what what type of card this is, and it's a pretty cool card.